Welcome to Mimesis, the podcast about all the twisted ways that art and life imitate each other. I'm Stacey Rourke.
And I'm Sandra Sheriff-Zackerly.
And we are both still your hosts for Mimesis.
We are both still your hosts.
Nobody's being fired. Nobody's being replaced.
No. I made a boo-boo and I posted something on Facebook and a couple of our listeners like, oh, what happened? Mimesis is not going anywhere. I'm just, because Stacey has decided to make a couple extra podcasts, I'm like, I'm going to do another podcast.
Yes. So she was looking for a co-host for another podcast.
Yeah.
Not this one. This one will always be the two of us.
Yes.
We're not going anywhere.
No.
This is the OG podcast for the you and I. So.
It is.
Not that I don't love the others. I love Jen. I love Rue. We have a great time. Those are entirely different things. But this is our OG podcast.
Right. This is what got us into podcasting and getting us into the network. Exactly. Starting the network, I should say. Not into a network.
No, we made our own. We're like, fuck it. I'm going to do it myself.
Yes. And with that, we're at a year.
I know.
Happy birthday to Mimesis.
Happy birthday. So that's what this episode is going to be all about. This is probably going to be a little mini episode, but we're just going to reflect back on our year and our episodes.
The 49 episodes that we have posted so far, because we did take a 2-week break for Christmas.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Which I think is something we will continue to do because
absolutely.
Holidays, man.
Yeah. And we like to travel to come and see you for the holidays. So it's really hard to try and record when you're not in your recording space.
Yeah. And I like it when you come and see me for the holidays.
Exactly.
So we're not going to change that either.
No.
Although someday I do hope that we are saddled with the problem of figuring out recording in the same room every week and how to avoid echoes. And,
I know. That
would be a wonderful problem to have.
It will be. Soon.
We'll be in the same room. Yes.
Soon.
And then we'll set up a little pod lab in somebody's yard. Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. Is to get like a little space, whatever it be, it a she shed or whatever. And
yes.
Have our own little recording studio.
Yes. And it doesn't matter whose yard it's in.
No. Nope.
Not at all.
One way or the other.
Yep.
That's the goal. So let's reflect over the past year. Can you remember back to the first episode?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it was yesterday, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't believe I was at your house for 2 weeks a year ago.
I know.
I mean, a little over a year now, but yeah.
Yep.
And that's when we recorded, when you were all hopped up on drugs.
I had surgery. I was out of it. And you know me well enough to know that I wasn't going to sit and do nothing.
Exactly.
So you needed to occupy me with something.
And this, I could just make you sit and do something.
Exactly. And that worked perfectly.
It did. It did. Jaws was our very first episode.
That was a fun one. I really liked researching that one.
Yes. I loved that we had to record it twice. Our first 3 episodes.
Yes, our first 3 episodes we had to do twice because we kept messing up on the sound.
Yes. That was a very learning, like really just diving in and learning right off the bat of what to do.
That was a great tie-in because the name of the episode was Diving In. So
it was. Yeah.
That was very well spun back to it.
Uh-huh.
It's funny, though, like recording these other podcasts and you even editing podcasts now for people because it takes us back to when we started and the sound issues that we were having and having to work them out with other people now and explaining that, okay, this is how this has to go.
Yeah. I like that you're like, can you log on real quick and help me out?
Yeah,
like,
I'm not even going to mess with it. You're the one that knows how it sounds good. So yeah, that's what we do now when I'm recording with Rue, when I'm recording with Jen, I'll just send her a message and be like, hey, I need you to hop on for a minute and make sure our sound is good.
Yeah.
Because Rue and I already had to re-record one.
Two,
because the sound was not good. So.
Yeah. No, it was so echoey. But that's why we're learning. It's like an evolving thing. We learn every episode that what works, what doesn't. And that's where it's just, I really like the industry that we're in, the podcasting.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
You know, it's also been interesting for me because I've been an author for, 12 years now.
Yeah.
And people know me through my stories or my social media persona. But I think listening to the podcast gives my readers a little bit more insight into how my mind works.
Yeah, I think so. For sure. Because now they can like put a voice to you.
Yeah.
Like, I will say when I first read your book, it was a little hard to like figure out like to separate you from your writing. But then once I did, it was like magical and golden.
At first you're like, oh, what the hell?
No, it wasn't even like that. It was just like all I could hear was your voice for the characters. Like all the characters.
I could see that. Yeah.
So it was like, just think of her as a different, like, this is not
this is not your aunt. This is just, yeah. I remember our cousin Misty, when she read my Legend Saga for the first time, she sent me a message and she was like, I've known you since we were babies. I didn't know you had that kind of mess going on in your head.
Yeah.
That's some dark and twisted shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
well.
Okay, so over the 49 episodes, do you have a favorite?
Oh man. We've had so many really great ones that I've really enjoyed. I love when we do old Hollywood in any way. I think those are so much fun. But I think actually my favorites were our spooky season when we did a different horror movie every week. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that one.
I would really like to make that an annual tradition. It doesn't have to be necessarily movies. It could even be like urban legends and things like that. But
yeah, no, I think we definitely have to do that again.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. I love old Hollywood. Anything that involves true crime, those are fun for me. What about you? Do you have any favorites?
The Elvis episode.
That was fun.
One of our first few episodes, it was like oh my goodness, I'm blanking because it's not here. Like looking at the list, it was the nursery rhyme.
Oh my gosh. That one was so funny.
Yeah.
The front tails.
Yes.
I think that was the episode where I called you the sweet summer child too.
Yes. Yes.
And you were like, I know I am, but why? That was a good one. I was very hopped up on pain pills for that episode.
Yeah. I'm just not seeing it on here. That's why I'm like, I'm missing something.
I wonder why it didn't, because we switched over to a new platform.
I think that might be why. And I'm going to have to go and dig and make sure that that one's posted.
Have there been any topics that we've discussed that were rough ones for you? That
I think the episode that we had when your daughter Elliot was on, the dementia, that scares me.
Yeah.
My grandfather had dementia. So that one was a little rough to hear. And then some of the murders have been like, oh.
Yeah. I think when we did the Lovely Bones episode, because it involved a young girl, and you and I both have kids, and the idea of anybody hurting kids, that
young girls, like at roughly the same age as she was,
that one was very emotional. That was hard, and I think talking about the toy box killer when we did the Dexter episodes, which I loved the Dexter episodes and the research of that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would like to compare the Doomsday Killers from Dexter to Lori Varro, I believe is her name. They call her the Doomsday Mom.
Okay.
At some point, I would like to do a comparison between those two. But the Toy Box Killer, that's a rough case.
Was rough. Yeah.
And that one, yeah.
Yeah. So did we really do one on Jeffrey Dahmer? Or did we just kind of touch on that?
We just touched on it. We haven't actually.
We need to do that one because now they're coming out with the second one, and it's going to be on the boys who killed their parents, I think it was. So it's like
the Menendez brothers?
I believe so.
Okay.
But they're calling it like Monster Series.
Okay.
So it's going to be like the first one was Dahmer, the second one's this. Like they're going to keep going with this. So.
Okay. Yeah. I think the Dahmer case would be, we haven't touched on it yet.
No.
There was a lot of controversy about that show. People felt it was Wow. And now for a commercial break.
That was my alarm to go get my kid from school. He had a half a day and I forgot to turn that alarm off.
You know it's Sunday, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I forgot to turn the alarm off. I don't know why it's still for today.
No, but Dahmer I think would be a really good one. I know there's a lot of controversy around it, but I really feel that it didn't glamorize anything. It completely showed him as the monster he is. Yeah. But I understand that the victims' families having that rehashed over and over again in the public eye would be a painful thing.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I think that in a way it's helpful because you see these men and you can start picking out the red flags.
Yeah.
Because they are charming. They are trying to win you over and get your guard down so that they can do bad things.
Yes. And teaching people that you don't have to be polite in those situations.
Absolutely not.
If you are uncomfortable, trust your gut, get the hell out of there.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that would be a great one to cover. I really do.
Yeah.
And we absolutely should.
Yeah. We had some fun episodes.
Yes. We talked about Elvis already, but we know I freaking loved the Elvis episode. I went full fangirl over that.
You did, and I loved it.
And right here is when everything went dark. Okay, I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about.
I don't know. We got cocky.
Yeah, okay. So for our listeners, you need to understand what just happened here. We were talking about at the beginning of the episode how much we've learned and how we understand our sound systems now. And then our computers decided to go, oh, do you? Do you really?
Oh, not mine. Yours.
Mine. My computer decided to see. So all of a sudden I had no sound.
I could not hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sound cut out. And then I got my sound to work, but then I couldn't hear Sandy anymore.
Right.
We thought my headphones broke. Turns out my computer just turned something off all by itself in the middle of the episode. So, yeah.
Of course, we have a 1-year warranty on our equipment. And it's been a year. And now it's like, I'm dead.
Oh, you're doing a year anniversary? That means it's time for me to crap out.
Yep. Yeah.
That's so fitting for our 1-year anniversary episode that like the shit would just hit the fan.
Absolutely. I love it though because it's
perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, so what were we talking about? I don't know. Oh, we think we were talking about fun episodes that we've done, and we were talking about Elvis.
I loved like our little mini episodes, like our mini episode of Get to Know Your Host, the mini episode of where was it?
Did you find another one that hasn't been transferred over?
No. I'm just trying to make sure I give the right names.
Okay.
Of these, like our marriage and parenting, the MegaCon.
Yes.
Like we did a couple mini episodes that were just fun because it's just us kind of talking about.
We didn't have to
us.
research anything those weeks. We were just talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are our lazy episodes. We love them.
Yes. There is no real research to do.
We just show up.
But I do like the research.
Oh, I love the research.
I really do. I like learning different things that were like, really? That was real life?
Yeah. Our most recent moment like that for me was when I was researching Cocaine Bear, and I found out that the guy that fell out of the plane, like, he had a lot going for him. He
Yeah.
I fell out of the plane. He didn't fall. He intentionally jumped.
He intentionally jumped
with a shit ton of cocaine on him.
Yeah.
But that was a very interesting. And I learned that there are people out there that paid $200 for a jar of poop.
What? People would actually do.
You know what? That tells you all you need to know about some people in this world. You just look at them and you're like, oh, you'd pay $200 for poop, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You're one of those.
You're one of those people. Yeah. I will have to say, like, Lucy was one of my favorite ones, too.
Oh, that was a great episode.
Yeah.
And
that was a good movie.
Yeah. It was a very good movie. The quote you put in there that her daughter had said.
Yes.
That got you right in the heart. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's our old Hollywood. We did old Hollywood. We did Lucy and Desi. We did Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. We did a little bit of Elvis. Those.
Yep.
I think
we did like the old Hollywood Hotel.
Yeah.
We did Old Time Gangsters.
Mm-hmm. Those are fun.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do some more.
Realize that Stanley Tucci is in a lot of movies.
He is.
Johnny Depp.
Yes. Did you know one? I saw an interview with Stanley Tucci recently where he said the hardest role he's ever had to play was in The Lovely Bones, because through that,
really?
He wanted to keep himself distant from the young characters all the time, because he wanted them to be. He didn't want them
afraid of him.
And he didn't like that, because his whole role there was to make them afraid of him, and he hated that.
Yeah, I can see that. It would have to be hard to portray yourself as a criminal, as somebody that dark that hurts people, when you yourself are just this super loving person.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds said the same thing about Amityville.
Yeah.
That he hated that those kids had to be afraid of him, especially knowing that now he's the father of three kids. So clearly this is a guy that loves kids, and to know that he had to go there and make them afraid of him, that'd be hard.
Right.
Break my heart. Oh,
yeah.
I was too convincing. You look like you're gonna cry.
Yeah, that episode was save money on your next house, buy it haunted.
Yep. As long as the ghosts are nice. That's
correct.
There's something I'm going to be researching for an upcoming episode, and there's ghosts, but they don't seem to be mean ghosts.
Yeah.
Get you one of those good ghosts that are just trying to help you.
Don't get the Conjuring ghost.
Yeah.
Don't get the Amityville ghost.
My kids and I just did a tour of Mount Vernon recently. And one of my friends, who's a fellow author, Elizabeth Kirk, she's absolutely amazing. If you get a chance, check out her books. Yeah, she's great. Fantasy realism is a real knack of hers. So Elizabeth Kirk, check her out. But she gave us a tour of Mount Vernon. She doesn't work there anymore, but she used to. And of course, one of the very first things I asked was, is it haunted? And she said that the people that work there are not allowed to say to any, make any claims that it's haunted to the public. But there's quite a few people that work there that do believe that it is.
Oh, of course. That's right where things happen.
Yeah.
It definitely is haunted.
Yeah. So she was telling me about some of the rumored hauntings. There's a yellow room there. There's believed to be an entity there of, I want to say, what's her name? Nettie, I believe. It was her room, and they believe that she still lingers there. And then Washington himself, they believe that he goes up and down the stairs from his bedroom out the back door around the same time every night. But there was also, she told me of a situation where one of the workers was in a shed looking for a tool, and he's looking around for it, and he heard a voice say, "It's over there." And he turned and looked, and sure enough, the tool was right there. And he turned around to say thank you, and there was nobody there. And I freaking love that. That ghost was like, yeah, dude, it's over there.
You've been looking for it, and I can't watch you do this anymore.
You've been looking for a really long time.
Yeah.
The ghost had to channel all its energy and power to go, it's over there.
Yeah. That's funny.
Or the ghost just wanted the guy out of there and was like, grab it and go.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we've touched on some of our favorite episodes, what do you want to see the podcast like in the future?
I want to see it grow, for sure.
Yes.
I want our listener base to increase because I love all of our listeners. And one of my favorite things is, even like today, Jessica Sroga sent me a message or posted on Facebook about something from the episode that cracked her up. So to all of our listeners, if there's a moment, just send us any kind of message that you're listening at all. I liked this episode. This was funny. Maybe you guys, I love hearing from all of you. So I hope that increases in the future.
Absolutely.
And I would like,
it's really fun to have that like interaction.
Yes.
So we know that we're doing what you guys want us to do, that we're on the right track.
Yeah. And we like hearing from you. I mean, we love talking to each other, but we like knowing that we're talking to you too. So,
yes,
by all means, more interaction with our listeners. And I really hope in the future to get some sponsorships going. I think that would be great, so we can grow and expand the podcast and make it to where we eventually have our own little She Shed podcast lab.
Yes, I would love that for us.
So, are there any others that you want to see?
I want to get some merchandise going.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes.
We
need feminist shark merchandise from
yes,
our first episode.
Like diving in. I want some shirts and I want some beanies.
Yes.
Like that's been my like style lately, and that's
now
beanie. That it's getting warm, I don't need to wear the beanies as much, but like today it's rainy and chilly and I just want like a long sleeve shirt that says Mimesis with a beanie that says Mimesis.
Cute. That would be cute.
Yes.
Also, I have to say, on behalf of a mother of teenagers who sees high school students every day, there is no weather limit to beanies.
Okay.
100 degrees, these kids will still be wearing beanies.
Yeah, that shocks me down in Florida that there was as many kids wearing beanies
and hoodies
when I was picking up the girls.
And hoodies all the time.
Well, I mean, I can understand in the side of the classroom because the schools down there are
air conditioned.
And it gets cold in some of those. I can understand that. But the minute you come outside, that comes off.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But no.
They don't. They leave them on.
And then they smell very ripe.
Oh, they're spicy. All those kids are spicy. Whew.
Yeah.
I feel like, how they have those air fresheners that like every now and then they just do like a push into the air. We need that in high schools of deodorant, that every now and then it's just push.
Yes. When you walk through the door.
Yeah, and the kids can just choose to like lift their arms up when they walk in, get a little spritz, little spritzy sprit. I believe when my kids were in middle school, I want to say there was some teacher that would stand at the door, and as the kids walked in, she would like give them a spray of deodorant. I'm like,
that's funny.
Her room was smelling so much. Like,
I thought that was like fifth grade.
It might have been.
Still up here.
I think so. I think
before you moved down.
There was. I think it was one of Ellie's teachers was like, y'all just as you walk in, you're getting a spray because dang,
y'all need to learn some soap and oh my goodness. Okay, so back in high school, there was a song that one of my friends sang like all the time, and it cracked me up so bad, and I had to like kind of tell Emma that because I was like, dude.
What was it?
It's soap and water. Soap and water. I don't know if it's a real song, so I don't want to get in trouble saying it.
Okay.
But like, you need to wash up. Use soap and water.
Yeah. I think their childhood, you don't have the BO problem. So you're like, I'm fine. I don't need it. And then like all of a sudden, no, you need it. And they have a hard time like wrapping their mind around that smell is you, honey. That smell is you.
Yes. Like I know I'm a very strange person. Like you know this.
Yeah.
When I work out, I don't sweat.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So I don't really stink after a workout, but she worked out and I was like, dude, go take a shower. But she's like, you don't sometimes? And I was like, sometimes. I usually always take a shower, but sometimes I don't. Like, I take like a little washcloth and wipe me down.
Yeah.
But I don't really sweat like normal people do.
Oh, I sweat like a monster. I sweat like a monster. My kids come home from school and I'm mid-workout and they come in to give me a hug and a kiss and they touch my back and they're like, wow.
Yeah.
That's gross.
I don't get that.
I'm like, yeah, sorry. Mama's working hard.
I barely get like the little tiny little sweat at my forehead.
Man, I was working out the other day and I was doing push-ups and it was just dripping off my face. Like there was just sweat dripping. I'm in a puddle. And I always wear like my wardrobe anymore is exercise clothes. So I work out every day. I'm like, I might as well put them on instead of changing later. But I had a pair of like light lavender workout pants on the other day. Girl, I sweat so much that lavender, it looked like I peed. Like it looked like I wet my pants and it was just sweat. It was just sweat.
That's funny.
I think.
Yeah. I don't ever have to worry about that. Like sometimes I get jealous of people sweating. I'm like, I wish I could sweat like that.
No, because I also wore a pair of tan cotton pants to Disney. And tan pants, when they get wet from sweat, turn dark brown. So again, it looked like I peed myself.
No. I just got off the water ride.
Yeah. Except it's Hollywood Studios and there isn't a water ride. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Speaking of Disney and water rides, we've got off on a tangent. But you know what? If you're listening to our anniversary episode, you know we go off on tangents. Absolutely. You know what you're here for. I went in one of the bathrooms at Disney Springs, and you know when you're like going, but the toilet like is flushing as it's going.
Yes.
This thing was spraying so much water up at me. Like it was constantly flushing as I was going. It was like a frickin' bidet. This thing, like I had to get up and dry my entire ass off because it was just getting sprayed. And I'm like, I did not realize this stall was a soak zone. What are we doing here?
Calm it down, Disney.
Wow. This is excessive.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so what about topics you want to see us cover in the future?
I want more horror.
Okay. Yes.
I want more creepy. Yes. I want I don't know. I like what we're doing. Yeah. Really. Yeah. But I think we've like tried to steer away from some of the horror in that because we got really dark and deep for a while.
Yeah.
So
we've gone a little lighter.
It's been kind of light and airy and fun. But I need some dark and heavy.
Yeah, I think we need to get some. Well, I've got one coming up that's going to be a little bit darker. But yeah, I think we need to get back into the Dahmer and the Dahmer of it all. I want more creepy, and I want some more old Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, like I was told that we need to do the movie Tag.
I don't.
It's about a group of people who played tag.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to do that, we need to get a group of grown-ups together and we need to actually play tag as grown-ups.
Yes.
And see how it goes. Because I think, especially in our family, like between you, me, Jay, Scott, anybody else that we rope into it, we would get stupid competitive really fast.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, we would probably have it like with them. They had it going on for 15 years.
Yeah.
And they would like get together 1 month. And whoever by the end of that month was the person that was it had to be it until the next year of that same month.
That's so fun.
Like that would be what we would do.
Yeah.
Every time we see each other, we're like, game starts now.
And it's on.
And then the minute that we leave, that person is it until we see each other again.
See, we're so competitive though that our kids would be like, "Can we go do like anything else? Can we stop and eat?"
I know, it'd just be us four that would be like, "I've got this. I'm gonna dress up in the dinosaur."
Okay, what everybody listening doesn't understand is she just wagged her butt like a T-Rex tail.
I held my arms really close.
She had little T-Rex arms, so it was shaking her butt. It was fantastic. That was a great visual.
Like the little T-Rex running.
Yes.
Which that video popped up of us scaring the girls when they got home that one night. In the T-Rex costumes.
God, the T-Rex costumes were so much fun. That was a good time.
They were.
That was a good time. All right. Well, final words of reflection on our first year.
I'm glad that I texted you. We should start a podcast.
I'm glad you did that too.
I am.
You know, and I'm going to get totally sappy for a minute though, is because we live on opposite sides of the country and you're a mom and I'm a mom and we both have stuff going on. Before we started this, we would go days without talking, not because we don't love each other, but we would just get wrapped up in our own shit. And as much fun as doing this is, as much as I love our listeners, I love the fact that it makes us take the time to talk to each other and interact with each other every week, almost every day. I don't think we go a day without talking anymore.
I don't think so.
And I love that.
No, I've been like doing your assistant stuff.
Yes,
so.
Exactly. So I think this was a good thing for us.
I think so.
And I hope the listeners enjoy our weirdness.
I hope they do. And I think they do. We've got the listens.
Yeah. Also, if anybody just heard like a farting noise, I did not fart. It's just my toenail raked across a canvas bag and it sounded like a fart. But
oh yeah, just blame it on that.
I didn't fart. I didn't. And of course, I'm not going to be able to get the bag to make the noise again. But
right. I didn't hear anything in my headphones.
Okay, good.
So you're good. Yeah. I'm gonna get sappy for a second too. I really enjoy talking to you every day. We did kind of you moving kind of put the depression on.
Yeah.
And I think this is a way, even though we don't get to see each other physically in the same room,
we see each other.
But it's like we get to see each other.
Yeah.
And it makes those times of not being together a little easier.
It does. I agree.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we get to talk about some awesome topics and just have fun.
Yeah. And it gets us out of our everyday life. You know, we're talking about other stuff that's fun and entertaining and educational.
Yes. Yes.
And then we talk about other things like shit in a jar.
Shit in a jar. And bears doing cocaine.
Bears doing cocaine.
And axes to the head.
Yes. That's a good one. That's a good one. Did we ever do anything about Lizzie Borden? Because Christina Ricci had a Lizzie Borden show for a little while.
No, we haven't. And that's the one that I'm really shocked that you haven't done yet.
I know. I freaking loved Lizzie Borden. Although she did not like
the X to the
Lizzie.
head one that we did was the Urban Legends.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's another one. We got to do Dahmer. We got to do Lizzie.
Yep.
And then I've got something else that I'm cooking up.
Yes.
Dee.
Well, thank you all for listening to Mimesis, and we really appreciate you all listening, supporting us, and we can't wait to give you another year of content.
That's right. We love you guys. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you're doing.
Yes.
What are you wearing? No, that's not. I don't want to know that. That's kidding.
Okay, we're not going to be Dahmer now.
All right. Well, here's to another great year. We love you guys. I love you, Sandra.
I love you. We love all of you.
And until I'm reaching for the end button and it's not on my end.
I got it.
Okay.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Mimesis.
If you enjoy this podcast, by all means, tell your friends about it and give us a review on whatever platform you listen on.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks.